Hi guys, I am assuming if you're watching this, you intend to go onto the El Camino Frances, starting from SJPDP in France and then all the way to Santiago in Spain, or you're already there at the gate waiting and flicking through, YouTube and whatever, and you came across this, yes? Now, I did exactly the same thing as you, waiting outside there. I did that, I went in, but before I go into anything else, when I went there, very briefly, I decided on a Monday, oh, that sounds good. I'm from England. And then on the Wednesday, I was in a plane. And on Thursday, I was in France. And then on the Friday, I was in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port and got myself an albergue. All these things were totally new to me. I had absolutely no idea what was what. I just thought, that looks interesting, and I had some time to spare, therefore I'm going to do it. The first thing I knew was, how do you find accommodation, because I wasn't starting on the next day after I arrived. I decided I'm going to, do some research, and all I did was to find a place, and I thought, albergue, and it's cheap, and you sleep with other people. Not sleep with other people, but sleep in the same room with other people. So I thought, okay, that sounds cheap enough. You didn't know how much it's going to cost me either. There you go. So that was that. And then I started to discover things, yes. I didn't know that you needed one of those, okay? This is your carnet de pèlerin de Saint-Jacques, okay? You need one of those. And what that is when you go in, you get stamps. Just bear with me a second. Okay, they get stamped from one place to another as you travel. This is my original one. Okay, it shows you here various places I'll stop all the way from St. John all the way down there. Now, when you get outside and you're waiting, this is where you're going to waste time, lots of time, because in the office, there are probably about 4 people working there. If you're lucky, they speak English. Okay. If you're not, that's it. That's it. It will be sign language going on, and brief conversation like, you go, yeah, card, yeah, me stamp card, blah, blah, blah. That's what's going to happen. But if you've got any questions that you may ask, you may not get an answer. And believe me, you need answers when you start on this journey, okay? Because there's so many things that's going to happen. And because I discovered that there were things that I wanted to know but never knew what to ask or what to do, I didn't do any of that. It's only after the journey, after I finished Santiago, that I realized that, okay, there's a lot of things there that anybody starting on the pilgrimage should know and didn't know. And one of them is this, people will go, they don't know what's going to happen. You have to have one of those, and that, as you stamp it, is your proof that you have gone from St. John all the way to Santiago walking. In there, it tells you, are you walking, are you busing it, or are you on a bicycle? It's all on there. It says à pied or in bicycle. 2 of the things you'll see in there. So you are on foot, you tick on foot, okay? And then by the time you get down there, if you start in St. John, and then the next day you host Santiago, you say, I have just done the journey, they'll just throw this away in the bin, because there's no way you would have done it in a day, okay, unless you're on a plane or something. But walking, it will take you, on average, if you're doing the whole journey all the way non-stop, 30 to 35 days, okay? That's what it's going to take you. Now, the first thing you're going to do is, when you get there, is they'll ask you for your details. First page, this is the first page there. And your details goes on there, yeah, your name, self-explanatory, your name and details down there. And then when you get here, yeah, you don't do anything to that area, because that stamp is going to come when you get to Santiago to say, oh, you have finished your journey, and the date will be down there when you finished it, okay? And it's an official one. And what will happen also is you get your first stamp, which is going to come up here. That's your first stamp, and then gradually, as you do from day to day, it goes from one bit to another, and the other, and the other, until you get to the last one. Now, depending on how many stops you do, let's say You take 30 days, you do 30 stops, you will get 30 stamps, which will kind of correlate when you get down there. They say, okay, 30 stops, 30 days. But when you stop in little cafes and different places, what they will also do is they will have stamp, and a lot of people like to have those stamps. You know, whenever I stop in a cafe, if I did, I would ask them for for a stamp as well. But when you get to your albergues, you know, when you're going to stop for the night, they will ask you for this when you come in, your card, yeah? And that is their proof. A little secret for you here. This is the proof that you're a pilgrim, yeah? Because they do albergues, you can stay there for the night for 15, 20 pounds or 20 euros, whatever it is, and cheap. Some of them are much cheaper. So anybody could say, I'm a pilgrim coming in, and they say, oh, you know, you could buy one of those in a tourist office as well, by the way, okay? But don't do that. Get it from the office, you know, starting office in St. John when you get yours. And obviously, if you didn't have any kind of proof that those people have been walking, then you let them in and they are sleeping cheaply rather than pay a hotel, which is 150 or whatever it is for the night. So this is important because it is your proof, and they will ask you. If anything else, they'll ask you to take your money. And the other thing they're going to ask you is, you know, where's your carnet? And then when you show it to them, they'll stamp it, and then you take that the next day. So don't lose it. At the office when you were there, because I did the journey and then I came back the following year. Last year, this time I was there. I was going on my way there to do this 10-day stint down there. They will give you a plastic cover, so you can put that in there. Look after it, because if it rains or you drop it somewhere and it becomes mulchy or whatever, you either have to buy another one, but then you've lost the proof that, you know, that you've had done this part of the journey or whatever it is. Now, having said that, also look after it. Let me just go back to mine again once again. There you go. Mine is in a fairly good state, because what I like is, this is the final one here when you go to St. John, when you arrive not St. John, when you arrive in Santiago. Yeah, this is the final stamp down there. And back to the first here, this one here, that's from St. John. And what people like to do is they want to keep it, and then when they get home, put it on the wall, you know, as a medal, as an achievement of the thing they did. Now, let me just show you something. 9th of July 2022, okay? And then 16. Okay, so if you look at this here, okay, it says, this is my finishing date. And on top here is my starting date. Okay, now work that out, and it will tell you how long it took me to do it. Yeah, it's supposed to be 35 days to 40 days. Yes, and then the rest on the journey. Okay, now it is an important document. It means a lot to you, because you remember what you have done, the journey you've taken, and how long it took you, all the trials and tribulation en route, the people you've met. All that is important. All right. Now, the reason I'm showing you this and telling you about it is because the queue you are going to see when you get out there are waiting to go in and get one of those, and then you're going to be given all the information. Part of that is to get one of this, and then one of these, not one of this one is yours, and then you get the other information that you're going to require to start your journey. And the queue could be up to 3 hours. All right. And the reason this happened is because there's no communication inside to begin with, because if you don't speak English, you don't speak the language, then we've got a barrier, but you still need to get that information. What also happens is that people are seen one by one or two by two. If you're with somebody else, as two of you, imagine there's a queue of 300 150 or whatever it is. Often happens. From the door, you go downhill, halfway through, there are still people queuing on both sides, one side and the other. All right. Now, if you come in, you speak French, English, or you speak French or Spanish or whatever it is, you might get to the end of the beginning of the queue. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You're just in the queue, regardless who speaks what in front of you. It's only when you get inside that you'll find those 4 people behind the desk who's going to say, okay, English, or they'll have a little card in front of them, say English speaking, French speaking, or whatever it is, and you go to one of those, okay, and then you get through. Now, when I went there as a volunteer, that's what I was doing. I was looking at how the system was working. And the people who run it, they do a fantastic job getting you to, making you welcome and give you all the information you want. But the queue hasn't never been taken into account. Never, because it's a method they have used for many times, for many years, so why should they change it? They haven't changed it. So you have to get in, wait, and then get called, and then you've been waiting for 3 hours. There's no loo. You can't go to the loo unless you go to one of the, restaurants or whatever it is down there. I was asked to be a volunteer down there specifically because I speak English. All right, and then on the day I got there, my first day of volunteering, I literally walked through the door at the back, got in. They were about to open the door. None of the people who were there spoke English fluently, so they could say the basic thing but couldn't explain things properly. So I just dumped my bag. Bear in mind, I know nothing about anything about how this place was running and all the information you had to give out. They just opened the door and say, here you go. Here I go, what? I didn't have a desk, they were working, but I was expected to do something. I didn't know what was what. So I had to think very, very quickly. As a life coach, my job is communicating with people all the time and explaining things with people. I was a manager in my past life, etc. Therefore, I had to think on my feet. Okay, I was there because they needed somebody to speak English. The people who were in there spoke French, speak Spanish, and a bit of Italian and broken English, So I thought, okay, all right, I know where I am now. So I went outside, shouted at everybody. There was a long queue already, and everybody could hear me. I was shouting from the top to the bottom. And I said, okay, guys, okay, if you can understand what I'm saying, then you speak English, and you can clearly, you understand what I'm saying. Therefore, we can communicate. Lift your hands up. And about, 80% of those people lift their hands up. What about the others? Did you understand what I was saying? Got that. Je parle français aussi. Alors, je pouvais parler avec les gens qui étaient là en français. Et yo hablo un poquito de español. Like this, I could say, okay, if you're Espanol, come on this side. If you're French, you're on this side. And then I had those 20% of people stay on this side, and the others was there. And then I said, okay, to the people who spoke English, now, here's the problem. The problem in there is those people don't speak English. I will explain what the procedure is to you here, okay? And then those people inside there will go straight in because they can communicate with those people inside. Problem solved, okay? So they went in there. I called everybody, because it was such a long queue, I called everybody 10, 15, whatever it was, number 1 to 15, come with me. I took them in a corner and I explained everything they need to know in English. And that was the important thing. So when they came in, they had to know about this. So I explained this to them. So literally, after everything has been explained to them inside, they went in, and when they went in, all the others inside had to do. No more talking. Stamp, pick up your shell, I know where you go, bye-bye. When they came out, I gave everybody a hug, happy journey. Just go and enjoy yourself, and hopefully we'll see each other in our life. All right, so having said all this, I really want you to take this in. So if you didn't get all the things I said about this, just remember this. When you go in there, you're going to be given a carnet. You're going to be filling up this as well. So get your pen ready. Don't wait when you get in there and then decide, oh, I haven't got a pen, can I borrow one from somewhere? Get a pen out ready. So when you come in, you just pick up the carnet, fill up your information. Even if you're not communicating, yes, they will know that everything has been done. Stamp it for you. Go and pick up your shell, and away you go. Now, this is only one part of the information you need to get. Yeah, there are other information to be given to you, but this is the one side of it that is important. Yeah, you need that. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. If you see this before you go on the El Camino, and then you think, oh, what else do I need to know about this? Please write to me. I don't know about subscribing or whatever it is, join, subscribe, or whatever. I'll see what the YouTube is going to tell me. If this is the case, then please do, and I will